Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another, where are we? Oh,
You
another
tell me.
show. We're another
week
show
it's a
of the
different
Business
thing.
Power Hour.
Now we're a show.
Yeah, I got short today.
You want me to? Oh, wait, hold on.
That's it. Even us up.
We
There you
didn't.
go.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
We didn't do the pre-show adjustments. That
See,
we normally
Darren
do.
is like 6'3", and I'm
That's
like
it.
4'7". So there's a problem here.
We have to make these adjustments and stuff like that.
Yeah, we do. That's part of life.
You know, and
I was originally, before I got too old, I was 6'7".
you were 6'7".
Yeah.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, I was. I was really, really tall.
On a 3-foot box, right?
No, on a 4-foot box. A 4-foot box, not 3 foot.
So how you doing this week?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah?
good. Yeah. There's
Busy?
exciting things. Yeah, very, very much so.
We got some exciting things coming up this weekend, right? We got
have,
Memorial Day weekend. We want
yeah,
to thank all our
You got some
people that
major
serve.
things going on.
Well, I got some cool stuff going on.
Yeah.
I'll be working, with the Thunderbirds this weekend. They're going to be down at Jones
You
Beach.
mean the band?
No, not the band. The Thunderbirds.
Yeah, there's a band.
That's an
called
old
the
band?
Thunderbirds. Yeah, they were really
They
good.
were old?
Yeah.
Right,
So what kind of Thunderbirds
before
you
me.
doing? You know, like the Blue Angel
No,
Thunderbirds?
like the United States Air Force Thunderbirds.
Oh.
That's the United States Air Force demonstration team.
Nice.
They're gonna be
They're
here.
flying over the beach.
They're going to be flying over the beach. We got some great things going on. That's why I'm wearing my spiffy jacket here.
That's a really, really nice
You know, this
jacket.
is a uniform jacket. You notice I got my stuff on it.
That's like an official thing, right?
This is an official
Air
jacket
Force
that
type jacket?
Well, I'm part of the Air Force Auxiliary, and these are the jackets that are part of our uniforms. And we got this jacket, and actually, you got a very beautiful jacket.
I have a very nice jacket, too. And they were
also,
a gift. And
from our friends over at CockPit USA.
I'm going to talk about them in a second. It's
Okay.
not like the regular jackets I wear, the glitter jackets
Yeah.
and stuff. That
Well,
I
you
go
got a
on
little
stage.
bit of fancier jacket. You took it
Well,
off.
actually, depending on the show that I do.
You said it was
I'm gonna
hot
wear
in
it.
here,
It's
but
free. It is so hot.
It is
in here.
not.
is
It's like
so
an
hot.
ice box. That's why I
Yeah,
have the
you're
jacket on.
laughing. What are you laughing at?
It's, right? Even you, Jim, you're saying it's not. It's
You're
not
dripping
hot.
wet.
I
You're
just think it's sad
sweating.
to watch him go through this phase of his life where
Really?
he has heat flashes.
It's like it's a menopause. Right?
All right, we
You got through
we
menopause?
occupied enough time. Let's
Yeah,
go
we
and
have.
do this.
Okay, menopause. So we got
Menopause.
our friends that have been on the show before, right?
Just a
And
few months ago.
Just a few months ago, and they were here for the American Air Power Museum, and they actually have this great company that makes these spiffy jackets that we're wearing called CockPit USA. So we want to welcome Jackie and Jeff from CockPit
Yeah, welcome.
USA.
Welcome, guys. Welcome back.
to the show.
Thank
welcome
you.
back.
Let's
Thank
give
you.
everybody a little background on the museum. So
Okay.
for those that didn't watch and didn't see, let's bring them
Right.
up at the... I'm sorry?
I said okay.
All right, so go for it. Yeah, you know everything about them.
I don't know everything about them, but
Well,
you know
tell me
what?
what you did.
Why don't we? And Jackie, we'll start with you. How did you guys come about to start the American Air Power Museum?
And why?
And why?
So you have the creator sitting next to me, who's an avid World War II and history buff.
And his name is?
I think it's Jeff.
Oh, hi,
Last
Jeff.
time I
Howdy.
looked.
How are you? Pleased
We've
to meet
actually, we're going to be married 48 years
God bless.
Ah, congratulations.
next week. So
Oh, wow.
if you hear this banter, it's par for the course.
Hopefully.
But Jeffrey's always been interested through relationships with his family, who, many of whom served in World War II and flew in World War II, in preserving history. And so, as you'll hear later on, both the museum and the clothing are there to honor those who have served and are serving.
Yeah, I mean, you guys make some great clothing, some beautiful clothing. As you see,
Thank
you're
you.
wearing a Flying Tigers jacket.
And this is authentic stuff, right?
This is a souvenir jacket, which is based off of jackets that were made in Japan, actually in World War II,
right after World War II.
or right after World War II, and embroidered, fully embroidered, and I can show you the back and the inside. It's
Do
really
they come
gorgeous.
in other colors, black or...
We do different kinds, but this one just came in this color for women.
That's what- no,
and
I'd
for
wear that
guys, there's another color,
That's
and
right.
we've done embroidered jackets, since we started the company.
And how long is when did the company get started?
So we've been making these jackets and products since 1975.
Now, Jeff, you started out in a completely different industry, right?
Yes.
When you first started out. So what made you guys decide you're going to open this company and create jackets?
I think we had too many Jamesons. one night. Or too many bottles of Jameson. And,
We happen to have one here if you need one.
Yeah, well, it's my mainstay in the morning and start the day off, but with some coffee. But no, actually, I think.
He was actually a lawyer. He's not.
Well, I have.
But that was easy.
I have a lot of different things that I've done, but what I was interested in was bringing back some of the ideas that were the focal points of the main conflict of the 20th century in terms of and expressing that to people in a way that was very easy to understand. And a lot of that was in the clothing, which was iconic in nature. The leather flight jacket that the American pilots wore, and there's so many films were made post-war about those quote exploits. Nobody talks about the carnage and the ugly side of it, but so in order to sort of spread the gospel of this concept, I said, well, nobody was really making a duplicate or a replica of the original flight jackets. Everything, and you can look at all the fashion and all the different kinds of clothing that were produced subsequent to 1945, and you'd be really hard pressed if you could find anything at all that really mimicked or replicated the actual garments that were worn, and that gave the leather jacket was the fighter pilot's second skin, so to speak, and the shearling jackets were worn by the bomber crews, and these guys are pretty focused and selfless, and they came from all parts of the United States, and everybody was going in one direction. And to me, it was kind of a sort of like an iconic or a beacon, to gravitate to give people something to hang on to.
Right, something to hang on to, something to remember that time.
You know, we started in 1975, and people don't remember or were not around back then. And it was a time when everybody was down on our country.
Well, that was a function of.
Well, it doesn't matter what the function was.
It was
Everybody
a function
was down.
of the various political and social movements that took place.
We had a lot of
in
things
the
going on. We had
60s,
Vietnam going on. We had Nixon. We had a whole bunch of things.
Well,
happening at the same
So
time.
I think
President
creating this at the origins, it was a catalog before internet.
So I mean,
So which came first, CockPit USA or the museum?
CockPit USA.
CockPit USA.
Okay.
But when you guys first started out, you
Actually,
just started
we started as Averex.
Okay.
Got it.
Our first.
That was you, Averex?
Absolutely.
Oh, no kidding.
There you go.
Yeah, we built that company mightily and then sold it.
Sold the trademark. But CockPit always existed almost side by side. CockPit at the time was the retail arm of the company, and Averex was the brand.
Right. Okay.
So we sold the Averex brand and kept CockPit.
It started out with mostly just replicate jackets and things like that you were doing.
Correctly.
But you grew the company to actually supply the Air Force with these type of jackets.
Well, we were, yes, that was one of the mainstays of a lot of our business during the late 70s going on through the 80s and 90s. Were producing military
Not just the A2.
military equipment and protective apparel for the Air Force and the Navy and Marines.
Get into that. You know, most people they start with clothing companies and they're just creating it. How do you get into that government contract and
well, you have to understand the product, what the items are, what the product is, the lifestyle is.
So is it just jackets, or is it other
No, it
things
was
as
flight
well?
suits. It was parka. It was all kinds of things. Fire retardant garments.
And have you always been located in the city?
Always.
Well,
At the same location?
our offices.
Our showroom, yes.
Oh, your offices, yes, but your retail store and such?
Well, we had a retail store on Broadway for many,
Down in
many
Soho.
years, down in Soho.
And you're located where now?
Now we're at 15 West 39th Street.
15 West 39th?
It's
And
on
what's
the
your phone number?
12th
right near
floor.
Bryant Park.
But they're not your retail store, right?
Yes, it
the
is.
retail store is on the 12th floor?
It is. It's a
Oh.
hidden gem. People can come and partake in a glass of wine or whatever it is,
But they
get
can-
measured, and
correct me if I'm wrong, but they also can get a lot of your products right here on Long Island in Farmingdale.
yes,
the-
at the American Air Power Museum, which
Then
has,
they can go shopping in Stu Leonard's.
That's true.
Right? You're right around the corner. So those of you that don't know where they're located or have never been there, and it really is an amazing, amazing place, you can kill two birds with one stone, right?
And the more amazing part is, of course, the museum itself.
Oh, yeah, well, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah, the CockPit store there is wonderful in the sense that we probably have the biggest presentation of aviation, military type toys, gift items, a lot of books, and
thought
some
for
of
a
the
second
jackets as well.
You were referring to the military toys that are on your airfield. Because
Well,
those
there are
some,
replicas of smaller versions of them.
Yeah, there
Yes.
are, but there are some major puppies that are on that airfield.
Yeah, it's and this Memorial Day weekend will be very active. We have a B-17 coming in from Michigan, which is the Yankee Lady.
What's a B-17?
Why don't you tell them?
Why don't you
It's a
tell
bomber, but I'm not going to get into each airplane.
Well, yeah, I mean the B-17. I mean, you have
it's a
some,
bomber.
You have some great aircraft over there. You know, if you guys go down there, because I'm actually a member now. You know,
Oh,
did
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
I didn't get my card though.
I'm sure you
That's it.
didn't. We're very short-staffed.
Yeah, I understand. I totally understand. But if you go down there, you can see aircraft from as early as the 1930s, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
All the way up through very current aircraft.
Yes. The A-10.
Very current. The A-10 is there. They have an A-10 on
Fairchild
site,
Republic A-10 that was
Yep.
built there.
which was built on that field. That's the beauty part of where this museum is. This museum is an historical airport.
Yeah.
You know, because
And
during
building.
World War II, there was a lot of aircraft built there.
9,000.
Yeah, 9,000 aircraft that were built on that
And
field
you have some
to
hangar.
support the world.
It really is a
it's-
wonderful, wonderful museum.
Thank
It's
you.
just great.
And we started talking about it, but I think we're very fortunate that way back when we were able to get some of these aircraft, a few of these aircraft, and
Were they donated or were they purchased?
no, we purchased them, way back when.
Did you get a lease?
No.
2 year,
No,
2 year
no.
lease?
Yeah,
and
so
you
we
awarded
tried.
it?
This was a long time ago. It was a very different world, and Jeffrey decided way back when that
Well,
he wanted to share.
We restored them. I'm one of the pilots of these various planes, as well as we have a cadre of pilots.
Were you in the service?
No, not the uniform service. No.
You know what? When we come back, we're going to talk more about the aircraft. We're also going to talk more about your jackets. I want to, we have some pictures that I want to get up there so people can see it.
Great.
And also, if you got any questions for Jackie or Jeff, please call in. The phone number is 631-415-1365. Right, Jim?
At 631-415-1365.
And we're going to be back right after these messages from our sponsors.
Sponsors, yeah.
Hi, this is Darren from the Business Power Hour. Are you associated with a charity or a nonprofit organization that is looking to raise money, but you want to do something different from other charities or something you've never done before? Well, if that's the case, then you need to call our friends at Friend Entertainment USA. Friend Entertainment provides tribute concert events featuring the best tribute talent from all over the USA, saluting stars such as Donna Summer, the Bee Gees, Queen, and many more. Whether you like Motown, rock and roll, R&B, country, Christian, or whatever type of music you like, they will provide you with the best entertainment at a price that is very affordable. In addition to music, they are now offering comedy shows saluting such stars as Robin Williams and Joan Rivers. With over 31 years of experience, Friend Entertainment will teach you how to create a successful show. The first thing you need to do is sit down with them and learn how you and your organization can put together a show that can be done from anywhere in the USA. No organization is too big or too small. So reach out today. You can call or email Norman at Friend Entertainment USA and let him help your charity or nonprofit create an unforgettable fundraising experience. Call 844-698-9696. That's 844-698-9696, or visit their website at friendentusa.com and ask for the Music Man. Tell him Darren sent you.
This is Oliver.
Sir!
And his girlfriend Emily.
Come on!
No, forget it. I can't. When the world lost a beloved comedian, it was hit hard. Oliver was hit very differently. Good morning!
Hey!
Oh, that's pretty, dear. Oliver thought that perhaps he was losing his mind.
That's okay.
What the?
Ask him what he wants.
I can work here. We can rehearse here. We can get crazy. Yeah, come on.
Coming soon.
That's not funny. Did I ever tell you about Tanya Harding? Yes. Didn't she put the limp in the Olympics?
Thank you. Incredible.
Thank
like
you.
You're just
Singing in the rain. Wow. Thank you.
Some people claim they could actually feel Robin's presence in the
We
room.
must join hands and then close our eyes.
Oh wow.
Other people say it's a hoax.
I'm not Robin Williams, okay?
Oh my god.
Is it possible? Or is Oliver crazy?
That's enough. I need to talk to Oliver.
I love you!
I feel like Robin is having experiences through me.
I'll always be here. Thank you! Oh, damn! Thank you so much! It's good to be back!
Welcome back to the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man.
Hey, I'm here too.
You're here?
Yeah,
You
I'm
sure?
the music
You with
man.
me now?
No, I am.
All right.
I'm
You're
here.
chattering over on the side.
And we got
there.
great guests.
Yes, we got great guests. We got Jackie
Returning
and Jeff
guests.
from CockPit USA. They got some
In Manhattan.
fabulous jackets.
And also in Farmingdale.
What I want to do now, if we could, before we get into talking about the air, I know we want to talk about airplanes because it's all we want to talk about. But we want to talk about your clothes too, right? So Jim, if you could throw up a couple of those pictures of some of the stuff. If you go to CockPitUSA.com, you're going to be able to buy these jackets. What do you got up there, Jim? I don't even see what you got up there right now. Okay. Oh, that's the bomber jacket.
That bomber jacket is great with the
sheepskin,
sheepskin on top. That's the real deal.
So
nice.
Is there a way to flip that around so Jackie can see what we're looking at? Oh, here we go. We got that picture up. Yeah.
Classic.
The classic
Very
bomber
classic.
jacket, right?
World War II
So
Right.
that has a real,
Jackets.
that has a very interesting story.
Well, tell us about it.
Okay. Jeff doesn't like to hear this story because it has to do with him, but it does have a lot of interest. So part of replicating these jackets was looking for old patterns, trying to source skins, etc. And there was nothing about this particular type of jacket that he could find. So he found somebody to make a suede version, because up to that point, and again, you're not going to realize it, but it was suede. Sheepskin was always sueded on that side.
Right.
And he said, okay, but in World War II, it had that sheen, and it, you know, it was weatherproof. How are we going to do that? And so you found somebody on Broadway.
Well, one of the original tanneries on Worcester Street in Broadway. It's just about on the cusp of closing. And I mean, it was in an old, it was a large wooden mill type building
Okay.
on Lower Broadway, what's now Soho on Worcester Street. And it was where they had originally made these jackets.
Well, so that's
actually it was a tannery.
Mm-hmm.
There was a tannery there,
Right.
and then a sewing factory.
Well, downtown, I could believe it,
Next to it.
or in the
Right.
30s.
Exactly.
So this is 1939, 1938, 37, whatever. And so that was downtown was a garment manufacturing area as well as the Midtown area, just depending what kind of things. But also there was an actual sheepskin shearling tannery there. It was a wet operation, and they had, you know, wet skins from slaughterhouses would come in. They would, you know, treat them
Right.
however they needed to, and then dry them out and dye them, and but with the fur on, and this is all, you know.
So how'd you get involved in this story?
So I went and I found these people, and
You told them you wanted to.
because I did some
finish it off.
research. So I said, okay, well, what do we do? What do we have to do to make the skins and to sew this thing up, right? How do we get one made? Only one.
Right.
And they said, okay, well, right now all we're doing is paint rollers, sheepskin
Okay.
shearling paint rollers. So I said, okay, well, what do you have? So they showed me these skins that were not really dyed in any color. They were kind of a whitish, you know, but they were tan.
Right.
Tan meaning they'd gone through a process from raw to usable leather with
Okay,
hair
so
on.
now you can use them to make the jacket.
With hair on it. You can use them to make a jacket, you can use them to make a paint roller or whatever. And what they did in those days, and this was I was going to say like pre-Columbian, pre-regulation days, before there were various kinds of regulations
The
for
chemicals and
chemicals to tell you how to breathe, how many
Right.
breaths you could take a minute, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And in addition, what kind of chemicals you could use.
So they finished it.
So what they did was they did it. They finished the skin the same way. They said, well, this is what we used to do in World War II. They had paintbrushes with lacquer, dark brown lacquer, and they would lacquer the leather side, right?
Okay.
And they just paint it up, and it would dry, and it would be like, you know, very stiff.
Right.
And there was some elasticity to the material that they used to paint it with.
Right.
And then they gave it over to this factory that was not too far away, and that still existed, that knew how to sew this stuff and cut it up.
So basically, you found basically the only two companies left in Manhattan that could do this.
Probably, yes.
But fast forward.
Yeah.
So this piece of clothing, which we sold a few pieces of, our customers said, you know, we can't move in them.
Well, it stood up by, if you put it on the ground,
We still have
it
one.
stood up by itself.
So
So you had
Jeff,
to beat the crap out of it to make
You
it
could
smaller?
put a lamp.
Exactly.
You didn't need a mannequin to put it on
You
display.
it could be an electric, it
So-
could be a lamp, you know,
so
with a
Jeffrey,
shade. You know.
Jeffrey said this isn't going to work. And he went down
Well,
south. actually
I
to
went
Texas.
looking for tanneries that still existed in the United
Right.
States. I found one in happened to be in Texas. There were others, but I found this one.
And you spent 4 weeks
Well,
with,
I was
with the chemist.
yeah, 4 or 6 weeks. I stayed
to
down
develop
there.
the finish.
So really, so it
But what
it's
I
not
did was I
as-
developed a finish that was compliant with whatever
that
regulations.
looked,
Right.
but
That-
at least was wearable.
So that was the beginning of that jacket.
Yeah,
Right,
But,
but-
people don't even realize it because now you see this finish on sheepskin all over the place.
Well-
but truthfully, Jeffrey's the one that
he actually created
He
that
created
whole
it.
process.
Well, back in
And-
the 80s,
Well,
sheepskin was huge. I mean, everybody
right,
was
but it
wearing
was
a sheepskin.
but
suede.
it was sueded.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It was sueded.
Except for ours.
Yeah, so
yeah.
they were
So this
suede,
was
right.
this was weatherproof basically.
Right.
Well, it was
Because-
waterproof because it was
waterproof.
painted.
Right.
So
It's like you paint your house.
That's
Right.
that's the story behind that, which is hard to believe.
So the tannery made it soft.
Well, when I went down to Texas and worked with them, the tannery they would be able to make commercially usable skins that were soft and pliable and had more automated ways of putting a coating, a color. They would dye the underlying sueded skin a color and then put a surface finish on it. And we worked for about a month on how to get a surface finish that looked somewhat, I wouldn't say used up, but somewhat worn, but not worn to the point where somebody would say, "Ew, where'd you get that in a secondhand store?" Or
Yeah.
something like that.
but
So-
as you wore it, the finish would, and it still does. It's like you're wearing a World
What
War
about
II
your jacket? Do you have a little history on what you're
Oh,
wearing?
this?
Yeah.
Oh, this is one of the A2 jackets. It's made of horsehide. It's actually tanned in horsehide that's tanned in Chicago still, and from a tannery there. And it's American and Canadian horsehide horses. They basically, when horses expire, their life expectancy expires. Horse meat is used in Europe. People eat it prodigiously. Here, I don't think people cotton to eating much
What do you
horse
call
meat.
it in Europe? Horse burger?
Yeah, well, it's horse. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
if you go to either a restaurant or
You have a cheese horse burger, please?
a restaurant or a butcher, and you have a horse's head with gold outside,
He's talking
that
about
means that they
France.
specialize. I'm talking about France. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, fast forward. So this is something that I've had since about 80, 85.
What's the patch mean?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the Hell's Angel Squadron, 1st Squadron of the American Volunteer Group of the Flying Tigers,
Okay.
which was the American Volunteer Group, which was
Went over to China.
it was prior to the American entry into World War II. There were 100 aviators that basically it was the first covert kind of Air America type operation.
And they flew P-40s, right?
They flew Curtiss Wright P-40s, which is a fighter plane that was developed in the late 30s for the Army Air Forces. It had a big V-12 Allison with General Motors engine in it. And at the time it came out, it was a very, very fast airplane.
And by the way, there's one at the museum.
Yeah,
Yes, there is one.
Actually, there's for this weekend. There's going to be two.
we have two.
Okay.
But
and one is
you know,
supposed to be giving rides,
Yeah.
but we're not sure.
in any case, the President Roosevelt, kind of put his ink on a executive privilege kind of letter
Right.
that said, get this thing moving, because the Japanese were taking over China, and the Chinese didn't have much of an air force, and so these 100 guys volunteered, and the British were allocated a bunch of American airplanes because they were, after their big battle of Britain in 1940, they had their own fighter planes, which were actually probably every bit as good as the P-40, but they were allocated about 100 P40s, and they said, no, we don't really want these. They don't really do what we need them to do.
So they took them.
So Curtis Wright built them in Buffalo and also in Caldwell, Essex County, New Jersey. The propellers were built in Jersey, and the airplanes were built in Buffalo.
Right.
And so they were assembled and put on in kind of cocooned, put on boats,
Right.
and shipped over to Burma, the country, Myanmar, or however you pronounce it
Right.
now. But I still know it as Burma, and the city is Rangoon. I don't know what they call it today.
Right.
And excuse
It's
me,
a port.
do you
And
have the flag in the back of this one?
no, I don't think so. Do I?
No.
No.
Okay,
No.
because
Okay.
usually the Flying Tiger jacket that we make has a different patch.
And what's your
It
phone
has
number if people want to reach you?
212-575-1616. 212-575-1616.
And their website's cockpitusa.com.
.com. Very
All
simple.
right. And you can also find them on Facebook at
Yeah.
Cockpit USA.
USA.
They have an Instagram account called Cockpit USA
Yep.
and Twitter at Cockpit USA Inc.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
And a
what I know.
Pinterest account, which I
Right.
assume is Cockpit USA as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The Pinterest idea.
What's
and we,
this- what's
and we
the
love,
rate?
by the way, people who buy jackets or and post themselves wearing them. We love that. Any
Oh,
kind
we got to
of,
do that. We got to take pictures.
We got to do that.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The jackets, price-wise.
Yeah.
All right, from the bottom to the top. Where do we go? And can jackets be custom made for somebody?
Yes. Yes. Actually, we just finished a great project
For a price.
for there's been the whole project of C-47s going over to Europe for the 75th anniversary of D-Day.
Right.
I don't know if you saw them going over.
D-Day was the invasion in June 6, 1944, the Allied invasion of
I think most
France.
people know
France,
that.
right?
Well, I don't know that most people know it or don't
Jim,
know
can we
it.
get a good shot of this? For those of you who don't know what a C-47 is, it's a transport plane.
Right.
And there's actually one at the American Air Power Museum.
that flies and gives flight experiences
Yeah.
with reenactors. So
Routinely.
if you
And you can get on these planes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This
To
one is
fly.
flying a special group of flights on Monday, Memorial Day. So you would come in, be outfitted as an
You have to
airborne.
explain that what that really means, because people outfit. I don't know. What do you do? You
Well, you
wear
can
a
see,
helmet?
Well,
What
you
do
can
yeah.
see
you
it right
do?
here. You
We
can see it
asked
right
it-
here on the flyer, Jim.
Exactly.
You look like a pilot.
You look like an airborne.
An airborne, okay.
Yeah, you don't look like a pilot.
Infantry
You
guy.
look like a
That's what she
paratrooper.
just said.
paratrooper.
Airborne,
Yeah, you look like a
airborne.
paratrooper.
So you get
So-
prepared, so to
Yeah.
speak. You,
I like to see you do that.
What? Get prepared?
I don't know if they have
Oh, we forgot to strap him in.
We forgot this.
I would love to do that.
it's very
I would love that.
exciting. Then you go in for a briefing, and you really
Mm-hmm.
feel like you're back in time. So it's a flight that takes you back in time. And this year, it's
What a great
particularly
gift
it's a great gift
For
for
you know,
Father's
people
Day.
that have been in the service or
Just
not,
a
even that.
historical.
or have family that have been in the service and they want to experience what their
And we do
ancestors
flights
have done.
also in the trainer, the T6.
The T6, which is on this side.
That's right.
That's
and
this
the
airplane
Wacko
in the middle
biplane.
here, not the
That- we do
biplane. That's the
both.
T6.
But
But
we
they
do
do both. But you know, one of the things about the museum, when we were talking about the museum before, is that when you do these experiences, the briefing rooms that they have are set up
Correct.
for that
The
time
authentic,
period. So
right.
you feel like when you're in a briefing room, you're in a briefing room like you were back in 1942 or 43.
Well,
or
like you see on the
44.
movies
Right.
in a World War II movie.
Yeah,
or
you sit on
such,
benches and all.
Sit on
Speaking
benches.
of which, didn't something happen just recently at the
Yes, but
museum?
we're not allowed to talk
You're
about
not allowed to talk
It
about
It was
yet.
well, we can only say that it was a major cinematographic production, which required us to remove everything from
out.
the museum. So the people who were putting up this
They built a stage. I was in
yeah,
there
we
when they
yeah
did it.
basically they occupied the museum for almost 5 weeks,
I'm
and
sure
they
you were
built
thrilled about that.
and they built
Yes,
up.
we were.
Well, actually,
Trust
what
me.
it, well,
And we know why, right,
Ka-ching,
Jackie?
ka-ching.
well, no, it way beyond that. What it did was it permitted us, or it made us, reevaluate how we configured the museum. I always wanted to change it, but we just didn't have a reason. There was no force behind that, and it was hard to get people, volunteers, to get behind that. But since we had to do this, and we rented the hangar to these people for that month,
we had to put everything back together.
We basically took all our displays, which I had always wanted to do, the different dioramas and things like that, and put them on wheels so that they were made mobile.
Right.
So they could be moved around anywhere. That gave us, as opposed to the prior configuration of the hangar, which basically had a lot of the exhibits going across the middle of the hangar. So you had two viewing areas, but front, just north and south. But this opens up the whole space, and now we can put things where we want, and you can see the aircraft also much more clearly. There's much more space to maneuver, and also to bring the aircraft in and out of the hangar, and because we operate these aircraft. They're not sitting there. It's not like one and done, where you go to a museum, you look at the plane.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and that's the other unique thing about your museum is a lot of the aircraft that are there are actually functioning aircraft.
They are.
You know,
Well,
that's
part of the whole mission is to keep them flying.
Tell us about that magazine you got.
So I mentioned that we started off as a catalog, and interestingly enough, we started off as CockPit USA, because back in the 70s when we started in business, it was unheard of for a brand to have either their own catalog or their own retail. Different time.
You were both. Right.
So somebody said, okay, you have to find another name. We came up with CockPit USA. So CockPit USA has always been the retail arm of the business, and
also
now
featuring
is the brand.
core items.
Yeah, and now it's both the brand and the catalog and
the
website.
And the website. When we come back, we're gonna take a station break now. But when we come back, we're gonna get a little bit more into it. Now, we have a great picture of a child in a flight jacket.
Okay.
And I want to talk about that because I got a feeling that child is very close to you.
I'm sure.
So right after these messages, we ready, Jim? Okay, we'll be right back right after these messages.
Don't go anywhere.
Small business owners, are you having trouble growing your business? Do you feel like you're always swimming upstream? Do you feel like daily tension that I can't get ahead and I don't know why? Hi everybody, my name is Darren Sayafi and I'm a business therapist. What's a business therapist? Well, some people call us coaches, some people call us advisors, other people even call us strategists. We take a vested interest in you and your personal development as a person and as a business owner to give you the tools and structure that you need to take it to that next level. So don't wait. Give me a call today for your free consultation and let me show you how you can help yourself.
And welcome back to the Business Power Hour.
I thought he gave me the high sign.
30 seconds ahead today.
I'm telling you, there's something wrong.
No. I think it's something wrong with you tonight. This is like 3 weeks in a row, right, Jim? We've had this issue.
It's the allergies.
It's the allergies or something.
The allergies
you turn and you're coughing, you're hacking and everything.
Oh.
But welcome back with our friends Jackie and Jeff from CockPit USA and also the American Air Power Museum right here in Farmingdale, New York. Before we took a break, I mentioned that, and if Jim, can you get that picture of that wonderful young child up? That you even make jackets for children, and it's going to pop up in a second. And the replica jacket is just like what you guys are wearing, correct?
Oh gosh, okay.
All right,
so
tell
that's
us
our
about
grandson.
this nice looking young man.
That's our grandson, who at the time was about 4 years old, but he's
What's his name?
Riley.
Hi, Riley.
And he's
Shout out,
Riley.
He's turned 6 now.
Okay.
And he'll be out this weekend. He's discovered airplanes.
He just
and it's really funny because it had to do with him seeing the C-47s, which I mentioned earlier on their way to Europe.
There were 15 or 16 of them in flights of 3 going up the Hudson.
Right.
And he happened to be in, I guess, Riverside Park or somewhere right there, or maybe in an apartment, maybe in his apartment, but looking right out at the river and seeing these planes go by. And then he was asking, is Uncle Scott, that's my son, one of my sons, my older son, flying one of those planes?
Who I met, right? I
Yeah.
met Scott at the museum.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he all of a sudden discovered airplanes, which is really funny because he has not been out a lot. The other son, his father, is not a pilot right now. So
He's a private pilot.
He's a private pilot, but he's not very involved. But he's all of a sudden was over at our house and started asking, because of course we have a lot of lithographs and pictures of planes and things like that. So he wanted to know everything about each.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But we do make kids' jackets.
Is your bed that you sleep on like the hull of a plane?
No.
Is this carved out? You know, like that? And has some wings?
No, but he
There's
may
something
want one of
serious.
those
I
bunk
apologize.
beds.
There's something seriously wrong with my
We got to
phone.
lighten this up a little bit.
we're always light. We're always doing great things with this stuff. So, okay, so let's get back to the airplanes and what's going on this weekend.
So Memorial Day weekend is a big event weekend for the museum. As I said, we have visiting aircraft along with ours, the Jones Beach Air Show, going on at the same time, and some of our aircraft.
What's the exact address of the airport if people want to go there? How do they? I mean, I would imagine everybody knows it.
No, they don't actually.
So then let's educate
It's
them.
still a hidden gem. It's at 1230 New Highway.
1230.
New Highway. It's across from the St. Charles Cemetery.
Yep.
And it's on Republic Airport.
It's on the east side of the field.
Thank you very much. I'm
All right.
very bad at east and west.
Well, he's a pilot. He knows.
I'm not.
Well, don't worry. I told my people, as you know, I'm in the Air Force Auxiliary, as I mentioned earlier, and we actually help out during this weekend.
Yes, you do.
Because
Thank
it
you.
is a big show weekend, and we help them on the flight line and stuff. And I actually gave instructions this week that shelter, which is right next to the museum, is actually on the west side of the field. And I got corrected very quickly by somebody in my squadron that it's on the east side of the field. And I said, okay, thank you. I appreciate
okay.
that. So, yeah, so it's on the east side of the field. And when you're driving that, it's very unassuming.
It's right off of Conklin. So if
Yep.
you go past the Aviation Mall, where Stu Leonard's is, you make a right on New Highway.
And it's like right there.
It's right there. The
Right in front of you.
second hangar.
If you see a missile as you're driving by,
Right,
that's
it. That's it.
Yeah, we have 2 missiles.
That's it. It's very unassuming. It's not
And a
like it has an
jet
aircraft
fighter
out
right in the
front.
front.
Well, we have
right
several,
there.
yeah.
But it's going to be a very exciting weekend, as I said, not only because of the visiting aircraft, but all the flights that are going to be going on. A lot of people have already signed up to do flights. They love doing it over Memorial Day, so it's very
It
exciting.
means more.
It means more, yeah. So it's going to be, and we're hoping that maybe for once this Memorial Day weekend will
Have
we'll
nice
have
weather.
Nice weather all the way through.
decent weather.
Well, last year was Sunday we got washed out.
Yeah. So it's supposed to
Right.
rain Sunday again, but let's hope.
Yeah.
But
They're already. They can't get it right for
They can't
tomorrow.
get it right.
So they're
No.
predicting in
it's
2 weeks.
No, not 2 weeks. This
my
weekend.
my dad was stationed in San Antonio for a number of years, and when we would visit, we'd say, "What's the weather for tomorrow?" And my parents would say, "The saying down here is wait 5 minutes,"
And it'll
it's
change.
become the same here in New York. You never know what the weather.
Well, it's supposed to be gorgeous Saturday and Sunday.
Let's hope so.
So
But it
Okay.
can't be too hot because then everybody goes to the beach, and we want them to come
Right.
to the
We
museum.
want to come to the museum.
Yes.
And, well, look, if you go to the beach, you're just going to be sitting there looking at the sky all day.
Waiting.
Where you can get up close and personal with this aircraft.
Thank you.
if
That's
come
exactly
to the museum.
right.
actually,
There's
you
a
can go to the
huge
beach in the
difference.
morning and then go in the afternoon to the
Actually, a
museum.
lot of people do that, and we are open from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And we will be open from 9 to 5 through Labor Day. So we're open Wednesday through Sunday.
And in your gift shop, besides jackets and replicas of the planes, is there any other special things that sell well that people go and buy?
Yeah, we have
Hats or-
some incredible new things, among which an incredible shot glass with a bullet going through it,
Really?
and a whiskey glass with a
Whiskey.
bullet going through
But
it.
it doesn't leak.
It doesn't leak.
I got to get that.
It's absolutely extraordinary. And we have a lot of T-shirts, of course.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's a beautiful store.
it's nice.
When you come in, in this thing about the museum, sometimes it's very unassuming. When you're coming up to the building, first of all, it's very unassuming.
Well, it's an old hangar.
It's an old hangar, and this is where they built these aircraft,
right?
The A-10, and this is where that
And
work
stored
actually
them.
happened. And when you're walking in, you're like, well, okay, because you go to these museums, like the one in Garden City, there's Upstate, and there are these big, beautiful buildings, and they have
Correct.
these fancy displays.
Even in what's it, Mineola? Or
Yeah, that's Garden City.
Right, Garden City.
So, like I said, but you're walking into history because
Right.
this is. It's not like it's a replica of where it happened. This is where it happened.
And the people that work for you, I shouldn't say work for you, volunteer for
Many-
you, are
many.
these people that actually have been in these planes, have been in the service. They wear their hats and they're
Yeah.
proud of what they did. And
We have a lot of people
can't
that work for Republic.
Yeah.
as well.
they're not reading speeches. They're talking
No.
from the heart.
They're talking about their experiences. Unfortunately, we've lost a lot of our World War II docents. That
So you're
started-
always looking for volunteers and such,
always
right?
looking for volunteers.
And do
that are-
they call your phone number in the city to fill
no,
out an
they
application
can.
or do something?
They can stop by the museum and fill out an application, or they can go to the website for an application, which is www.americanairpowermuseum.org.
Is there a criteria that you have to meet in order to be a volunteer?
Be able to
Breathe
donate
and
ti-
walk.
Breathe and walk, exactly.
Well, that's good to know.
Be able
And speak
to
English.
be able to donate time
As
and really
as a language.
as a language, and be able
Yes.
to commit to a certain amount of hours and be reliable.
Well, and that's the thing, right? When you have a volunteer organization, as we both are involved in those things,
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to get people to show up when you need them to show up. You know,
Correct.
this weekend can be very challenging, even for us, especially Thursday, Friday, because a lot of people need to take off from work in order to help out. Not everybody wants to do that or can do that. So
We have a lot
we get
of
really good turnout
retirees.
on Saturday and Sunday.
Well, you're lucky.
Friday. Well, tomorrow's our toughest day as far as getting turnout goes.
We're in that sense we're fortunate because we get a lot of retired people, both men and women, by the way.
Yes.
And the hardest time for us actually to maintain a group of volunteers is usually on Sunday.
Yeah.
So if people are interested in volunteering for Sundays, those
I have
are
a couple of
important.
people in my squadron actually going to a wedding on Sunday. Somebody's
you go.
getting married on.
People do get married on
early
Sunday.
wedding, so
We by the way have a lot of weddings at the museum.
do you?
It's a great, and Jeffrey was talking about the fact that everything had to be moved out, and now everything is on wheels, so to speak.
Did you build a concert stage for me or what?
Oh, that's easy.
Well,
That's easy. We have
They
the,
actually-
we have
the
the
movie
stage.
production crew did when they did the movie.
Oh yeah, when we were because you allowed us to utilize your hangar for a meeting for
Oh,
the
sure.
Civil Air Patrol, and they had the stage and everything already.
Oh,
built.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were just getting in there. It was that first week that they were in their building. And
They were trying to replicate a late 1950s USO show.
okay.
And they, but without getting really
Right,
deep
yeah.
into who produced it and where it's going to be shown.
Yeah, we had to
things like that.
sign special agreements.
Yeah. So, but you know what?
I
That's
can give
fantastic.
you a USO type of show too.
That's great.
You can do that.
Yeah. Yes,
I
I,
can.
I think we've spoken about this back. I think it was 2007 or 2009. I went to a Sweet 16 party there.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, we had,
but
had
now,
2 communions back to back, a wedding, and
actually, the wedding's coming. Another
no,
wedding's
another
coming up.
wedding's coming up.
Right.
So it's even better space because we can move things much.
So do you hire
Much more.
caterers and such to come in?
We
or
do,
they
but
outside?
people
Most
do
of-
it themselves.
Most of the people like just to take the space and do their own thing.
Okay, and you allow them to do that
We
up to
do.
a point.
We do.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
They have to sign insurance,
Right.
whatever. But yeah, we make it easy in the sense that we don't dictate exactly who they have to use, which is
Nice.
nice. We recommend, but we don't dictate. But it makes it
So
wonderful.
if they want to do that, what's the number that they call if they want to rent out the museum?
The best thing to do is for them to send an email to info
Info at
at
American.
AmericanAirPowerMuseum .org.
.org.
You know, we need to chat about that because some of my not-for-profit organizations are always looking for a venue. What a unique venue to
It's
have.
unique.
I mean, I'm going to. There's a good possibility that I'm going to be doing something for American Cancer Society, and they're going to be looking for a venue. What a great place to go and do that.
You know what I tell people when they call, and you know, our rates are not humongous, but they're, you know, depending on the size of the group and how long, etc. But I say, where else are you going to have so much to look at and see for your guests than at the museum? You know, you're not hiring an empty hall. So there's
So
a
you
lot.
allow people, if they have a wedding, you allow the people to roam around?
Well, we have.
Oh, absolutely, and
we
they're
have-
taken around by docents.
They get taken around by volunteers who show up or as
that's
guides,
good
tour
for you.
guides.
Yeah.
As tour guides.
Keep
So
them
it's-
from climbing all over the aircraft. and
Well, they
stuff like
can't do that really.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not.
You
No,
know,
but
that's-
and we've even had a couple of weddings where the bride flew in.
Oh,
and
that's
landed.
awesome.
That's it. It would not be more interesting if she parachuted,
Yeah.
you know, right
No,
onto the altar.
Actually, somebody was a Jim. Somebody married. We married a couple.
In the C-47?
It was-
No, in which
Yeah,
one?
maybe.
One of them.
Well, one of the airplanes. Maybe
Yeah.
it was the C-47.
You took them out, you married them, and then they
Well, yeah.
parachuted out?
They didn't parachute. They didn't parachute.
Maybe one through one of the others.
Actually, the C-47 D-Day flight experience, part of it is that you do actually hook up
Right.
as if you're going to parachute. So when I tell people about the flight experience, they say, well, do we... I say,
jump?
No.
Yeah.
No, the door never opens, but you get the feeling of what it's like to, you know, have that pull, especially when you land. It's pretty cool. And there's a little hidden thing, which is I think we still do that, right? Where there's a card in your field jacket, and you're actually representing somebody that
Oh, wow.
that
That jumped.
Well,
jumped or was
Forged.
at the beaches for Normandy, and what happened to them. And I have seen a number of people
I
actually
have
break
an
down.
uncle that was in Normandy, and he made it through.
You know, sometimes when I see those movies, I really wonder
It was
how
crazy.
Well,
they could have done it.
You know, what's amazing, you know, in this day and age, when our soldiers are deployed via the internet and everything else that we have, they're not that far away.
Correct.
You think about back then, when they got on the boat to go, it was weeks, sometimes months before
Sometimes
anybody heard
years.
anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
they were
My
over
dad
there.
was away for 3 years,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, you know, how often did they actually get a letter?
and my uncle too, actually.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It's that witching hour.
Oh
The
my
time-
gosh,
the
it went so
time has
fast.
Just
time
crazy,
goes
right?
fast and fantastic. We could talk for hours. But
You know, the quick thing was I forgot to finish is the D-Day jacket that we just produced
okay.
for the crew. And it's a very special jacket with
Do you have a picture
the
of it?
Dax. We don't.
You
Can
know,
they
it
see
wasn't,
it
it wasn't
on
on the
your
website.
website?
It's not on yet. It will be
Yeah.
next in about a week and a half for D-Day
It was
Okay.
a special edition. It's a limited edition
of 100 jackets.
of 100 jackets. So far, the crews,
And the pilots.
the pilots and air crews,
I think they're
and
what?
sponsors of these aircraft going over, from actually the flight route was the original flight route from the East Coast, around where we are, to Labrador, to Greenland, to Iceland, and then to Shannon, Ireland,
Right.
and then Prestwick, Scotland, and then down to Duxford, England, and then from Duxford, England, over to landing field, well, to drop zones in France.
Right.
So we've sold actually about 55 to the
Wow.
crews.
Yeah.
And they're still,
And they're not
actually
even
now
out yet.
that they receive them, the other people that didn't order them are,
Now ordering them.
yeah,
because
are clamoring for them. And
Are you going to make more than 100?
No,
That's it.
no, we said we
No, it has
limited
a
it to-
special, unique patch like this, but Yeah, it has a picture of the aircraft, the C-47, and some nomenclature about D-Day 1920, was it 2019, and something like different nomenclature on it.
And then inside, because everything we make has very interesting things inside, has the letter from Dwight Eisenhower, and there's all
it's
kinds of
sewn into
so the letter that
the
was
lining.
given to every trooper, whether it's airborne or ground trooper, infantry, was written by General Eisenhower. You've embarked on a great crusade, and et cetera, et cetera. And
there's a lot of interesting things inside.
So that's historical, and then there's a applique in the back on the inside, which basically deals pretty much with this particular endeavor of these aircraft going over to, but it's graphic and it's very, very decorative.
You're going to have to save all this for next time.
Yep.
Because we have to get my buddy over here to talk about what he's going to be doing this weekend and getting everybody to come out to watch this. So give it to them.
Oh, I got to talk now?
You can.
You're not going to talk about what you're doing?
Oh, I am, but after you.
Okay. So, this weekend, come on down to the Jones Beach Air Show. It's the Bethpage Air Show at Jones Beach. I'm going to be down at both Farmingdale Airport and Islip. We got the Air Force Thunderbirds that are going to be there. There's going to be a couple of F-18s actually going to be parked over by you guys.
They're going to be right on our ramp.
They're going to be on your ramp. I know that.
Hornets.
As well as like the Red Bull plane and a whole bunch of other things. So come on down, see us. The show is great, but I tell you what, if you're going to go down to the beach, get down there early. Because if you don't get down there early, you're not going to see anything.
Absolutely. You're not going to get in.
Yeah, come out to the airport. We're going to be there. You'll see, the Civil Air Patrol people there. Please be courteous. And, we're there to keep everybody safe. We're not there to prevent anybody from having a good time. So please remember that. Sometimes people forget that.
Is tipping still allowed for you?
Tipping is not allowed. We don't take tips. But
well, here's a tip: get out of the business.
All
right, I just want to mention,
what are you doing?
We just signed a new Motown show this past week after some months of negotiation and getting them to be the caliber that I would like, and adding the right pieces to the. We added a couple more pieces to the group. But we agreed to agree, and we're going to do a show with them probably in November. And also...
November what?
I'm not sure yet. But it'll probably be in Belmore, at the Belmore
Well, you have
Theater.
a show on the 16th, right?
16th where?
November.
Oh, yeah, but we're not talking about that.
That's my birthday present.
Yeah, that's... Okay.
Okay.
Also, Kool and the Gang. We have put together a phenomenal Kool and the Gang out of Chicago. I'm going to get them coming into New York, a really authentic looking group at a really great price, and they're going to be a great attraction. So we're looking for that too. And that's it. So have a great weekend.
Yes, you too.
Right,
everybody,
you guys, thank you so much.
Happy Memorial Day.
Thank you for having us.
Another great job. Thank you.
And we want to thank all the men and women of the armed services for supporting us.
Cheers.
And everybody have a very safe holiday.
Oh, but by the way, as long as we're talking about vets, American vet dogs we're doing a concert for in the fall. So stay tuned.
All right. Have a good week, everybody. Be safe. Good night, everybody.
Conversation, they're all dead. The lines cut off inside my head. I left here like a broken man with no idea of where I I stand. Oh, my mind clears. Oh, I shed all my tears. Oh, now baby, I was just waiting here while you moved on. Security, this newfound freedom you kept from me. The sound of all your loaded gun. This outbreak war has just begun. The sound of all your loaded gun. This broken man has already won. Oh, my mind clears. Oh,